Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video we will work on this anime Battlegrounds game right here. And I have tried to work on this fireball within the last episode, and wait. Okay, yeah, so that's our fireball. I'm honest, it is pretty bad. It is pretty bad, guys, but there's nothing to do about it. Let's move on with this infinite Tsukiyomi, and I already have some ideas for this one. So let's try to, or let me just explain you my ideas for this attack. So you guys should probably know about my tower defense series, and I have also created an Itachi model or an Itachi tower within that series, and it also has some kind of infinite Tsukiyomi attack where this cross is. Okay, so this cross appears when Itachi is about to attack, and we're going to nail the enemy onto this cross. And yeah, so that's what the infinite Tsukiyomi is about. I also think about adding some Itachi clones next to that cross who just stabbed that person, because I can remember that scene within the Naruto series where Kakashi was trapped inside of genjutsu. I'm not sure if it was the infinite Tsukiyomi, but it was one of Itachi's attacks, you know, and that scene just consisted of what I've just described earlier. So Kakashi hanging on the cross and being stabbed of multiple Itachis, and yeah, just experiencing extreme pain, okay? So those are my plans for the infinite Tsukiyomi, and that is going to be the topic for the next episodes, guys. Okay, so let's start by building this cross, because that's pretty easy. So let me just build this one. Okay. Okay, and there we go. So that's it. Let me union those two parts, and let me call this Itachi cross. Make sure that it is anchored and that can collide is false. Okay. Now move it inside of the replicated storage, and let's go to moves. Okay, so to this moves script, and let's look for fireball. Fireball, come on. There we go. Okay. So let me add another if statement. So okay, so there we go. Infinite Tsukiyomi. Okay. So you guys should know what this if statement does. So it basically just creates another case within this whole collection of if statements. So basically, it just tells you, or it just asks the script whether the attack which is going to be created is infinite Tsukiyomi. Because if that's the case, then everything within here, so within this else if and within this one, is going to happen. Okay, and this code is of course going to work on the infinite Tsukiyomi, means it is going to clone the cross, it is going to attach the enemy onto it, and so on. Okay, so we are we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to spot the enemy? Okay, and there are many methods to do that. So we could use raycasting to detect an enemy which is in front of us, so that would be one method. Or we could use a magnitude to find nearby enemies and to just pick out one randomly. That's also a method. Or I don't know, we could there are also many other methods, you know. And I think that I'm gonna use this magnitude method I was just talking about. So let me just explain you about that method. So basically, you have many players within a game, and you have their character models which are inside of the workspace. Okay, so workspace, get children. Do if V is a model and V find first child humanoid, and game players. Find first child the name and does not equal player. Then okay. So let me explain you what I've just done. So, I was about to explain the idea. So we're going to loop through all of those character models of all of those players which are currently in the game, and we are going to check their distance in relation to ours. Okay, so we are going to check the distance of my character to their character, and depending on how far we are away from each player, we're going to pick out the player which is the nearest to us. Okay, so which is far close to us, and that is going to be our enemy. So we are going to loop through the workspace, as I'm already doing right here, and we are basically checking if a certain instance inside of the workspace is okay. Now, so we now have 4 requirements. The first one is that it is supposed to be a model. Okay, so this is pretty logical in my opinion, because when we speak of a character, we always speak of a character model, you know, and model, you know, so the class name of a character model is model. So that's the first requirement. The second one is that this instance has, or this model has, a humanoid inside. Okay, for example, this one is a model as well, but it is not a character model. So one more attribute of a character model is that it holds a humanoid. Okay, and that humanoid holds the health, the walk speed, whatsoever. Okay, so that's the second requirement. And the third one is that it is, or the character model belongs to a player. Okay, so we only want to hit players with this attack, so not NPCs or whatever, so only players. And the last requirement is that we are not detecting our character model. Means we are referring to the players tab, and we are checking whether the instance we have right here, so that instance's name, so whether this one is found instead of the players tab. Means if the character model, or if we have a player which has the same name as this character model, means this character model belongs to the player. Okay, so that's the idea behind of it. So if this exists, which is already checked right here, then we are checking if this character model, or if this player we have right here is not our player. Okay, so those are our 4 requirements. So model, humanoid, is a player and is not our player. And if that's true, or if all of these cases are the case, then we want to do the following. So then we want to check the distance in between us and them. So char humanoid root part, and you take the humanoid root part to measure the size of you know, not the size but the distance, I'm sorry. So basically our position, so always refer to the humanoid root part because that is our root part. So our root part's position minus their humanoid root part's position. So as far as I can remember, our humanoid root part is our starting point, therefore yeah, this comes first. And if that distance is not greater than 10, then come on, well, maybe 10 is, I'm not sure, let's do 5. Print out. Okay, so I have to correct myself. I have told you that it is going to pick out the enemy which is the nearest. Okay, so which is pretty near to us. It is basically just going to look for an enemy which is near to us and is going to pick out the first one it is able to detect. Okay, so That is what it is about. And I have added this found enemy variable right here, which is false at the beginning. And it basically just stands for the case that we have found an enemy, which is of course false at the beginning because we are not able to find an enemy when we are just starting the attack, okay? So basically when this right here, so this is basically responsible to check for the distance, and if the distance is below 5 studs, then and there is no enemy found yet, then we have found an enemy. And this variable is being turned to true, means it is going to fail this check, means we only have one enemy which we have found, okay? And now we can start with creating the cross, etc, etc, but we are going to do that in the next episode, guys. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video with all of your friends, leave me feedback in the comment section, guys. Take care and see you in the next video.